Hello and welcome to the show with me, Gillian Gotzel. Today my guest is Tammy Kahn, who is the co-founder and co-CEO of FYEO, otherwise known as FYEO, or For Your Eyes Only. Tammy, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Okay, so I was stalking your LinkedIn and I love the little tip you have with your degree, your BA. You have a BA in Strategic Communications and Philosophy, which is an unlikely combination. Why did you choose those two?
It's funny. I mean, I work with such smart people that nobody really ever digs into my LinkedIn because I'm the business girl, the sales and the revenue and the ops. But yeah, I went to the University of Wisconsin and I thought I wanted to be a journalist, and it turned out I didn't want to be a broadcast journalist because I didn't want to move into some very small market in the middle of Utah. So I decided to do more of just strategic communications, marketing, more businessy stuff. And I enjoyed philosophy. Between us, I actually did it because I didn't want to take the math course that was required. So I took a logic course because it turns out when there's no numbers, I was perfectly good at math. And I just kept taking them. And I got to my senior year and I had pretty much all the courses I needed for the major. I needed to do like 2 more. So I said, let's do it. And I joke, strategic communications, we learned a lot of stuff, but on very old technology, and that has since moved on. But learning how to think, that serves me every day. So
I was going to say, how does philosophy, I'm sure it must help you understanding people and thinking and stuff like that. You probably have a greater insight into other, like your emotional intelligence, probably far higher than other people's, perhaps.
yeah, I think my EQ is pretty good. I mean, in my company, we have so many like code logic experts that I find it just fascinating how it works, because I look at the entire life almost like a code audit, because I'm looking at how all the pieces fit together from a business perspective, from a partnership perspective, and how it all interconnects. So yeah, the logic piece of it is kind of my passion, because at the end of the day, I learned this the hard way. Things can be logical and valid, but doesn't matter. They could still be false, or they could be true and totally illogical. And knowing where that is kind of helps somebody calibrate to run a startup, especially.
Cool. And I see also that you grew up with a family business, so the hard work ethic was bashed into you at an early age.
Yes, I grew up in a family business. I didn't know that, I saw other people's parents go to different jobs, but yeah, that was my life. It was my grandfather's business. My father worked at it. Sales is in my blood. Every night at the dinner table, we would, what did you do at school? Do you have any homework? What orders came in? How much revenue did we do today? So it's been part of my life for as long as I can remember.
Interesting. And then also, you mentioned earlier you were thinking about becoming a journalist, but you contributed to Forbes and Huffington Post. So that's pretty significant to be able to write for these august publications.
It's been a while. Thank you. You've really dug deep. It's been a while. I need to turn my content brain to help FYEO, because we've been doing a lot more content. So hopefully I'll do more writing soon. I like to write about and talk about things I'm passionate about.
So you've been able to, the communications and the writing, vital, especially when you're working in a tricky or complex environment. So FYEO, the reason why we're here talking today, the FYEO, For Your Eyes Only, you formed that in 2021. It's a cybersecurity company. Can you tell me?
Actually, 2018. But it's easy to. So we renamed as FYEO in 2021.
I get you. I read. I didn't quite understand that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's been going on quite a while. So tell me, what was the idea behind it? Because you said you weren't doing much technology in college and stuff. So, wow, you're in this super techie space. How did that happen?
I face planted into tech probably around 2000.
That is the best quote. I face planted into tech. Oh my God.
Like 2009. And it was because I was helping my family business, which, no joke, was selling antiques and collectibles on eBay. So a tech company but very not tech, right? But and I wound up forming. I realized small businesses had needed some help with their marketing, and at that time there was this thing called Web 2 and Facebook and social media, and I was like, this could be great to get business. And so I formed a small tech startup around that, and I got bit by the bug and kind of went through it from there. Did my own company, worked for other tech companies. met one of my co-founders, Brian Gale, who's my co-CEO. We worked on a Web3 project together. Then I got bit by the Web3 bug, and then here I am today.
You are. Okay. So that's the face planted to tech. That is one of the best lines I've ever heard. I'm going to say all year, only January, February, but all the last 10 years, I think. So the FYEO, the cybersecurity company, what does it do?
So we have three pillars at FYEO. So we actually started off building decentralized applications for larger enterprises. And one of my co-founders, Thomas Olofsson, is a security expert. And we quickly realized that as this space starts to evolve, there's going to be a lot of really smart builders, but maybe not people who understand the security piece. So we launched officially as a consulting firm for other projects to be their security auditors. So are they building secure code? And that is still our main layer. It's how we have remained self-funded since day one. But we quickly realized that with a code audit, you're only really as good as your next audit. It's static code. So what about all these other attack vectors? This year, we actually found out that in terms of people losing money and hacks, 35% didn't come from even the code level. They came from other sorts of social engineering attack, leak credentials, people just losing things. So we could say the code is perfect, but if you're not protecting the wider organization, you're missing something. So we set out to build what we call FYEO Domain Intelligence, or FYEO DI. There's 6 partners, founding partners in the company, and one of them has actually been collecting data from the dark web since 2013. Some people collect stamps, he collects dark web data, and he continues to do that to this day. So the other pillar, the top pillar of what we do, is we have 25 billion leaked credentials. We've cracked 18 billion passwords. We have 1 billion phone numbers, and we're the good guys.
So you're like a white hat hacker.
And so we take all of that and we created FYEO DI, FYEO Domain Intelligence, where these projects that we're also doing security audit work for, we can monitor for lookalike domains. Has somebody created a domain similar? Get those taken down before they become phishing sites, monitor chatter on the dark web, monitor mentions, see how many passwords employees within the project have had leaked, and then help them to change that, before it becomes a problem, before it becomes a social engineering attack. And then the bottom piece, which we don't talk that much about, but we will be talking more about it in Q2, is that we built the world's first truly decentralized password manager, and we will be releasing it entirely for free in Q2. It's 2023, and we don't think that people should have to use a centralized password manager, pay for it, and then have all their data leaked. So FYEO ID will be coming out, and we're going to just release it to the wild. And Thomas Olofsson, along with Brian Gale and the very smart tech team, built a very, very important tool. So we hope it'll do that world-changing thing. Fingers crossed.
That's cool. So. Interesting too as well. I didn't realize there were 6 co-founders. It's quite a big number for a single company, isn't it? Do you fight, or how do you mediate the fights?
Weapons. No, I'm just kidding. Well, we're a very decentralized team. So it's actually 3 Swedes and 3 Americans. So we keep it, very, very, very little Europe American kind of thing. It's worked really well. It started off with, the 4 of us, and then we expanded. We call it the Michael bookends. So it's Michael Bystrom and Michael Bjorn, and then me and David and Brian. And Thomas, and we all work together. We do enough stuff that everyone has a lane that they focus on and own, and we build important stuff with people that you like and trust, and good things happen. And we're doing our best to build a culture around that with all the employees that we bring on.
And how many employees do you have now?
We're at 26 people all in. So we're getting there.
Yeah, that's sizable. That's a big monthly salary bill.
Don't remind me. That's why we have great customers that we work really hard for.
And how many customers would you have? Would you work with like small? Is it very boutique-y, or do you have general ones? Or
so Depending, so on the code audit business, we really like to choose our partners very, very carefully and go deep with them. Part of the reason we've enjoyed so much working with Flare is there's no shortage of really interesting work to do, and it's ongoing work, and that's great for the code review team. Just really likes to dig in and go deep. So on the code audit business, we're focused mostly on layer ones, layer twos, and the ecosystems around them. Also focused on wallets, because we do a lot of dynamic wallet testing, which is actually a cool thing trumped up by our CTO, but it's working very well for, again, we're all about this, the code level threats, and then what about all the other places that people can get in? That's why we say for your eyes only, right?
Yeah.
And then we even on the domain intelligence, we think of ourselves as the bridge to Web3. So even Web2 companies that we're phishing is still, dark web monitoring is still very important. We have certain Web3 hooks in there that as they grow into Web3, we'll bring them along for the ride too.
So you mentioned Flare. Tell me about your relationship with Flare. How did you meet them? And you said it's always very interesting working with them. Why is that?
Well, we met them through, I think it was Consensus, where we met them. So, these crypto conferences, they're always so interesting. You meet wonderful people, but it became pretty clear that they were at the right stage for us. We like to get in pretty early and look under the hood so that we can be their security partner. Michael Bjorn, who runs the security practices, he despises what he calls drive-by reviews, which is give us your code, we'll hide under a rock for 2 weeks, and then we'll say everything is bad and here's the bill. That's just not how he wants to be an extension of the team. And so we really enjoy working with the team at Flare because it's a super, you can see the Slack channel, just super interactive. We found this, we ripped apart this, we have a question about that, how, and then they fix it and then we do it. And it's a lot of fun. They take constructive feedback very, very well. Because it's very evident to us that they want a really secure environment for their community users.
Because it makes a lot more sense to do it continuously as opposed to at the end of every month or end of every year.
Right, and they're also on our FYEO domain intelligence platform too. So they've bit off both sides, realizing that security is just a critical component as they build and scale.
So if you're looking for customers, people watching, listening, or reading this final article, who do you want to meet?
We want to meet any project that is building on Web3 that really across the stages. So if you're a new project and you're just starting, apply to our startup program to get very discounted pricing on our anti-phishing and dark web monitoring, because we feel like that's something we can do for projects. And so this way, as soon as you're creating your domain, let us start monitoring, right? We're looking for more mature projects, more like Flare, that want to not just do ongoing threat monitoring, but have really meaty code reviews and an ongoing basis that our team can be an extension of the team. And we're looking for beta testers. Anyone who wants to go on to gofio.com to bravely beta test our decentralized platform for the identity, go on and be brutal. Give us your feedback because we're going to release it next quarter.
Wow, be part of a worldwide movement by all accounts. So brilliant. So GoFio, which is FYEO, for your eyes only.com is the address for people to find you.
Yep.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Tammy. I'm not going to forget that face plant in a long time. Brilliant quote. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.